Hello, welcome to the video. My name's Gordon of G17 Collectibles. So this video is really to take a look at the Fanhome Robocop articulated model, or the build your own Robocop. Now personally I have decided to build this because I'm a huge Robocop fan, and although there's a lot of questions surrounding this build which have maybe yet to be answered, I've taken the plunge and I've already subscribed and I've had 3 of the deliveries so far. I haven't built any of it, but I am going to create a series of videos to show you the parts that come in every month and the components, and we'll go through the build month to month as the parts arrive. However, if like me you had a few questions, should you start the build, what is the build, you know what it's all about, I thought I would create a bit of an introduction video to kind of go through what it is and give you my thoughts on the thing so far. So, for those of you who perhaps don't know what this is, Fanhome operate a Partworks model subscription service. So essentially what they do is they can produce lots of models, and they do a lot of cars, etc, etc. They've also done the Millennium Falcon, they're also doing an ET, and they give you parts every single week so that you can build it from the ground up. And every week a wee magazine comes with it. It gives you facts and information about, you know, the topic that you're building, gives you the build instructions, and it's a bit of fun and it's a bit of excitement. You get wee bits every week, every month, and you get to build this thing. There's a couple of drawbacks. It does take a very long time to build, so you're looking at a commitment of up to 2 years. Certainly on the Robocop, this is going to be 100 issues, and over that 100 issues you'll get component parts every single week to build Robocop. So you're looking at the best part of 2 years before you have a finished model. Now it can be expensive, so each issue generally will cost you £10.99. So if we take a whole picture view, 100 issues, that's going to be £1,100 just for the model alone. Now that is expensive, but if you take a step back and think about having a 1/3 scale articulated model, and I am a collector that has 1/6, 1/4, 1:1, 1/3, £1,100 is actually there or thereabouts for a basic 1/3 statue. Now this one claims also to be made of metal. How much of that is going to be metals to be seen, but if it was a fully articulated 1/3 model which is mostly metal, £1,100 is a great deal for it. I have JND statues which are £2,500, and granted they are made of silicon and high quality materials, it's still a fraction of that particular cost. Now what attracted me to the model build is certain things such as, okay, it's Robocop for a start, it's 1/3, so it's 62 centimetres, and we'll move down to specs here just to run through them. It's a 62 centimetre fully articulated model, so it's in the realm of 1/3 scale, and being fully articulated means that you can pose this thing. You won't have just a static arms by the side. You can play about with it, and if you get it right with Robocop, you can have a fantastic looking posed model. It should come off pretty well. Now it says here made of metal and high quality injection molded ABS. That to me was a concern, because how much of it is made of metal? Is it all the silver armour parts? Is it some of the silver armour parts? I don't know, and you won't know until you actually invest and go along. And my concern is that they might give you some metal parts to draw you in for the first few months or few issues, and then the quality starts dropping and we start getting more ABS component parts, and it ends up being 20% of the model's metal. And that really does question the whole cost of this model. £1,100 for something which is only 20% metal, in my view, would be disappointing. However, so far from the parts I've got, yes, there is some silver plastic parts, but generally most of the parts so far have been metal. Now I only have up to, I think, delivery number 9, issue number 9, and a lot of them are plastic already because you're getting the gloved hand, you're getting the arm, you're building the arm just now. But yeah, the helmet, the chest component, the arm pieces, they are metal, so long may that continue. It also has sound effects, so really hopeful that Fanhome can pull that off and have some nice clear original film phrases. They also state that they're going to recreate the facial features in silicon, which if done right can be tremendous. A few questions in my mind, because we probably won't see that for quite some time. Is it going to be a likeness of Peter Weller? Have they got the license for that? Is it going to be a clean, crisp silicon face component with skin detail and texture? And more importantly, how well is that going to be painted? Because silicon, as far as I'm led to believe, is notoriously difficult to get any depth unless you apply the correct painting techniques. So if they just slap some skin tone texture and make it very flat, it could potentially end up being something with a bit of lackluster behind it. However, as I said, I've already subscribed, so I'm committed to doing it, whether it's silicon's good or not. I've also opted for the additional display stand. It's £1 extra per issue, and I think it starts from issue number 7. So all in, it's probably going to cost about £95 extra in the whole build. The good news is it looks like a pretty good stand. It's nice and wide. It's suitable because it's got OCP logo for the actual model itself, so it ties in quite nicely. More importantly, it has a support rod, so that if your £1,100 articulated model is unsupported and takes a nosedive, you potentially could have quite a lot of damage. So I think having the protection of having that support rod and having it securely on that stand is probably worth the extra £1 per issue. So adding that in, you're probably talking about £1,200, just shy of £1,200 for this model. And by the way, that doesn't include delivery charges. So the way Fanhome are working it right now is if you subscribe, and you can do this through your local newsagent if you wish to save on shipping and handling charges. But the way Fanhome are doing this is if you subscribe, they will send you a package every 4 weeks with the last 4 build issues. You'll be charged £10.99 for each one of those magazines, plus a £5 in the UK, £5 shipping and handling charge. That means that for 24 deliveries you're going to pay an extra £5, which means there's another £125 to add on to the top of this model. This is going to come out, therefore, including the display stand and the model itself, it's somewhere close to £1,325. Now obviously you're getting the first 2 assembly stages for £1.95 and then a discount on assembly stages 3, 4 and 5. So let's call it £1,300 all in. So if you're going to subscribe to this, make sure you know what you're getting into. Although you're paying it up and you're paying £50 per month, you are going to pay that for 2 years, and it's not something you're going to do for 3 or 4 months and then just stop. Because if you stop, you've well just thrown all your components or parts in the bin. You will not get, and even in the resale market, you probably won't get as much back as what you've paid for them. So you need to ensure that if you commit to this, and this is why I'm doing the video, if you commit to this, you are going to end up paying £1,300. And remember, £1,300 delivered to your door every single month for 2 years. You have to understand that there are certain risks and gambles with building something like this. It might not be a full metal model. It might not be a great silicon facial piece. The paint quality might not necessarily be up to scratch. You know, that was the one thing I was disappointed with the Millennium Falcon. Yep, it was great fun to build. It was great having, you know, these component parts every single month and you got to build it, but the paint finish was dreadful. And it really brought the model down to a crappy basic standard. The details are all there, and although the build was fun and it's got a metal frame and it was really exciting, the end result is quite poor because of that paint finish. So I've still yet to paint my Falcon. The potential is Robocop will not have the exact same paint finish as what it should do, with a slight blue tint through it. I can already tell with the parts that I've got that it is just going to be a flat silver finish. I think I can live with that overall. I think once it's fully built, the silver does look a bit bright to me. So for example, I'll just show you some parts here. So here's assembly stage 2, and I will put a better video up when we're building these parts, but so far, you know, yep, these are all metal, but they are a basic silver finish. How does that translate on the wider and bigger model? I do not know. Time will tell, but it's not going to be 100% movie accurate. However, taking a step back, there's not much else on the market that offers you 1/3 scale metal Robocop figure. Yeah, you can go and get a 1/3 scale statue from PCS, something like this, which will have the lovely paint finish, and it's a beautiful statue, but that in the UK is going to run you £1,500–1,600. It will be available well before the Fanhome is finished, but you're stuck with that pose. It's not articulated, it's a statue, and whilst this is 1/3 scale as well, and the paint finish is top notch on the prototype, so let's hope it translates in the final product, you do have that as an option, I guess, if you wanted to go for that instead of the Fanhome thing. But where's the fun in that? You get to build this one, you get to build it with wee screws and clip parts. And the other point to note is you don't have to be, you know, a very practical person to put this together. It doesn't require a lot of skill, let's be honest. As long as you're capable of using a screwdriver and screwing little teeny weeny screws together into component parts, you should be fine. The instructions are pretty good, they're very well laid out. Some can be maybe a wee bit confusing, but there's pictures there, you can follow this. It's not rocket science, it should be fairly straightforward. So anyway, as I said, I have committed to this. I am going to start doing the build series on YouTube, so if you subscribe you can follow the build for me and how I got on with it. Hopefully you found that maybe slightly informative, and it's helped you make a decision on whether you're going to go for something like this anyway. But if you've decided for it or against it, great. You know, it's not a limited time offer. You can decide to build this in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. There's no rush. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no rush to get on with this. So yeah, I'll be building it. Subscribe, you know, watch the channel, and let's see how we go on over the next 2 years with Build the Robocop. I'm excited. Let's just see if that excitement keeps up over the next 2 years. Anyway, thanks for checking the video out, and take care, and I'll catch you all later. Bye bye.